Cut carbon emissions from fishing and farming, the demand from protesters would scaled a UK government building earlier, as something else that's been climbing high was highlighted in a stark warning from the UN.
The heat is on.
A press conference outlining a report on rising greenhouse gas levels and how even with plans from countries to reduce emissions, we're still heading to a 2.7 degree temperature rise this century. And one of those behind the research says unless there's drastic action in the next decade, there will be a climate catastrophe.
We as a species are in peril. There will be areas that are too hot and where humanity may not be able to live. And that will, of course, cause huge human catastrophe. And it is the poorest that will pay the highest price.
So where do key countries currently stand? Well, two of the biggest polluters, China and Russia, plan to reach net zero emissions by 2060. The UK's aiming for 2050, when the EU also wants to be climate neutral along with the US. And last night, Australia signed up to that too.
Our plan is a fair plan. It's a practical plan. It's a responsible plan.
A massive exporter of fossil fuels, Australia, like plenty other countries, has long been resistant on climate action, and so there are concerns the country's position now isn't credible.
You cannot take climate change seriously, and you cannot take serious action on climate change if on the one hand you're trying to reduce your domestic emissions, but on the other hand you're encouraging the production and sale of fossil fuels such as coal and oil to the rest of the world. That is not a credible position to be in. And unfortunately, that's the position that the Australian federal government is taking.
The climate conference in Glasgow is widely seen as the last chance to hold global warming to 1.5 degrees. Temperatures are rising, and for those coming Clydeside next week, pressure to tackle that is too. Alan Jenkins, 5 News.